stay here stateside on the East Coast. So plenty of time to get a full breakfast in and maybe have a few refreshments, few libations to get yourself warmed up for the match, just as I'm sure our away supporters doing as well. Always could be worse for us on the East Coast, though. Our friends out on the West Coast near the Pacific are always struggling through those early morning kickoffs. So these are a breath of fresh air for them as well.
You've got to respect the commitment, haven't you? You've got to respect the commitment. I'm going to ask you to be the judge of this, Ben, because we've got our show and tell now, which is a new feature that we've started running over the last couple of weeks. And basically, because the theme is Cesar Azpilicueta, we're going to show you our favourite Azpi moments, and then Ben, yourself, and you on the fifth stand-up need to comment your favourites, OK? So out of the three of us, we've all picked one moment. It could be a goal, it could be a specific moment. So, Jace, I believe you're first. So you've got the length of the clip to convince myself, Dan, Ben and all the people watching why this is the best Azpi moment.
Oh, there are so many reasons why this is the best clip. It's against Arsenal, and look, he's actually in his own box, and he bursts through. This is what you call classic counter-attack. But he keeps going. Look at Azpi. He's gone through the middle of the pitch. He keeps going. He gambles. He keeps going. What's Azpi doing there? How did that happen? And he gets on the end of it, and he's surprised. And that's his first goal. This is probably the best £7 million Chelsea have ever spent. He has won the lot. But it's just the. I've done the comment. I was involved in this game, and for him to score that goal and gamble, and he gambles. It's a poor back header.
Okay.
It's just, and that for me, there's a lot of Azpi moments, right?
All right.
That's
It's not half bad. It's not half bad. It's a good start. It's a good start.
Solid.
It's a little bit unfair on Arsenal. They've had a tough enough day as it is. But,
tough enough in weeks, I think.
All right, I'm going to go next. It's a good start, Ben. It's a good start, but I'm going to go next. This is what I think it is, and I think it is the first goal of the Thomas Tuchel era. It's a fairly recent one, and granted, my memory's not great, so it may have been why I picked this one, but there's a lot to sift through. Look at him go here. Look at him motor at the back of the screen.
He's gone. Similar, isn't it?
It's like Usain Bolt at the back here. Callum plays him in, and it's a lovely, opens his foot up, tucks it into the far corner. That's our right back, our right wing back, our right centre back, our captain, leading by example. The first goal of the Thomas Tuchel era, and we know how that's going so far. But this is what I like as well, OK? You think of Azpi about being a no-nonsense centre-half. Man's wearing white football boots. He's wearing white coppers. He's got style. He's got style with that substance.
You can get away with it.
Phenomenal.
You think about where he was in both goals.
Yeah.
Not too dissimilar in terms of his gambling.
Tucks them both away like a finisher.
Getting in the box, buying a ticket, as they say.
Well, I have a feeling this one might be slightly weighted because, Dan, this is yours, isn't it, mate?
It is. I feel like this one here, it's not a goal, but it may as well be. I was here, I celebrated it like it was a goal. One of the biggest games in our history. And that clearance there, look what it means to Mendy. Look what it means to... And because of it, we are all European champions.
That's his job, though.
That is his job. Now look at it. Now look. I'm not finished. Look, now top it up.
Don't claim that,
That's
Dan.
it. That's it. Now look.
You're cheating
There
now.
is no
Dan,
bigger achievement.
Dan, you're
That's the holy grail of
Dan,
club
you're cheating
football.
now.
His tackle, let him...
That's outrageous. I'm not having that. That's his day job. He's paid to do that.
You've spoken like a defender as well, spoken like a true defender. You can comment in the section below what you think is going to be your favourite. Ben, I'm going to let you have the deciding vote on the floor here. What do you think, mate?
So I do want to give a special shout to Jace's pick because Azpilicueta himself said at a meet and greet in Boston a few years ago for the final whistle on 8, that was his favourite Chelsea goal. Now, that was obviously before that goal to start the Thomas Tuchel era, so I think he might update his pick, and I'm going to go with that one. The lung-busting run, 90 yards up the Stamford Bridge pitch. That kind of contribution from your from your back line, from your captain, is just. It makes us proud to be Chelsea. What a performance! What a goal! What a moment! I'm going with that.
Mate, you are more than welcome on the show whenever you like. Fantastic pick. Well played, mate.
Didn't get in the Champions League.
You don't need to boo me. We've shared pipes and faces before.
There's no booing from this side of the table, pal. Terrific pick. Right, let's go into trending then, which is obviously covering all the parts that have been trending this week in Chelsea. Obviously, it's all been about the Champions League draw. So let's have a little look at the teams that are going to be in our group for this season's Champions League draw. That obviously finishes in St. Petersburg in May when we lift it on the 28th. But also we're gonna head to St. Petersburg in the group as well because we play Zenit, Juventus, and Malmo. Obviously, Juventus, one player short now, as well, as we've seen over the last couple of days. But boys, what have you made of it? I mean, it's a good draw, but as you can see, some of the reaction that we've seen on social media across it, this is a fair point, Jace, isn't it? There is a huge target on our backs this year. Love the recognition, and we play better ready for every team playing like it's a cup final, because it's true.
If we don't get in this group, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Right? There's always a big head, or generally a big head in pot two. And we got Juve, right? Look, they didn't win the title last season. This is not the Juve you went back over the last 15, 20 years. You can pick a better Juve side. I have us to top the group. Minimum second, minimum. Zenit won't be easy because the distance, and I would have thought Malmo will be probably be where everyone's looking to pick up loads of points, but we'll qualify.
Yeah,
we'll qualify.
You'd have thought so. Yeah, some more obviously reaction that we can see, from social media regarding the Champions League draw, and I think a lot of Chelsea fans, like you said there, Jace, there's a little bit of caution towards it, but also there's a little bit of confidence as well because of the group. You know, Malmo and Zenit, you'd fancy us to do well. Can't complain. Juve will be tough. We should make the last 16. Let's remain grounded and not underestimate the other two opponents.
That's fair.
It's a good shout from Roger as well. Lauren here saying good group, should have plenty of rotation, especially in the home games versus Malmo and Zenit. Again, we saw that last year with Krasnodar and Rennes as well. We did a fairly similar thing, and Tino Anjorin got minutes and players like that in the group. No complaint whatsoever with the squad we have got and the depth to manage triple fixture weeks. Come on, Chelsea. Dan, it's strange, isn't it? Because we do look at it and you think of fixture build-up, but because of last season, because we dealt with it so well, we know we've got
look at the size of the squad. We probably need all these games just for all these players to be able to get enough minutes. So I'm not mad at that draw. You're always going to get a good team in there. The travelling to St. Petersburg is not fun, but we've had to deal with it for year after year. So I look at that group. I'm quite happy with that group. To be fair, a lot of the groups are tough. You know, when you look at them across the board, they all look like good teams, and this is going to be a Juve without Ronaldo as well. So that probably helps us a little bit more as well. So yeah, I'm confident that we win the group, and if not, then we'll qualify. Yeah.
Ben, what did you make of it? Because again, I think all Chelsea fans are... Juventus is the headline, no disrespect to Zenit and Malmo, but that's the team you look at and you think we're going to be a tussle for them for top of the group. But it's rare, I suppose, and I feel a little bit uncomfortable as a Chelsea fan going into it, seeing a European sort of bigwig like Juventus and going, yeah, we should sort them out fairly easily.
Yeah, it's an odd thing to say. It's, oh, yeah, we should handle Juventus. I mean, no one should really handle Juventus easily. It's why they're one of the most prestigious clubs in the world. But I do think it is worth mentioning, like Jason said, that this is not the Juve of even a few years ago when they were running rampant through Serie A. I also think there's a wrinkle here for American Chelsea fans as well, in that this is going to be potentially one of the first times that we might see Americans start against each other in a Champions League group stage game if Weston McKennie stays at Juventus and Christian is fit and selected for either of our matches against them. But like you say, I do like us to come tops in the group. I would love to see us, secure our progression with a fixture to spare, and so we can get some of those younger players some minutes in the Champions League. But looking at the group, I think it's about as favorable a draw as you can get as the reigning European champions.
It's a very good shout, mate. It really is. And again, at the moment, the exciting thing is that we've got so many awards that are being handed out to Chelsea players as well, haven't we? Let's have a little look at this, because this week has been very, very fortunate for Chelsea fans and Chelsea players alike. Live scenes of Europe at the moment. It is, isn't it? It's just blue everywhere at the moment. Absolutely blue. Jorginho is making football look easy. I mean, he's averaging winning a major trophy once every 3 weeks at the moment, I think it is.
What a 2021 he's had, by the way.
Yeah. Sensational. Kanté won an award. Edouard Mendy won an award as well. Tuchel won an award. Jorginho won an award. It's almost a shame to invite other people.
What was it, 4 goals we conceded in the Champions League? Is it 4 goals?
Yeah.
Mendy has changed the way we played. Tuchel has changed the way we played. It's understandable, especially what Jorginho's done this summer. Obviously, we all suffered as Englishmen. Congratulations to him. It's quite remarkable, really, if you think about when we come into this year and how we're on a bit of a downturn. I remember Fulham away. We beat them 1-0. They went down 10 men. We beat them. Mace scored. But it was a kind of a feeling of where are we going here? And then, sadly, Frank lost his job. And when Tuchel took over, who could have... If you look at that now, if I told you that was going to happen, you would not have believed me. There was absolutely no way you believe me that is happening.
Yeah.
But you know what? It has.
Mate, absolutely right. Let's move on to our FPL stock report then. This is interesting. We're going to be picking every couple of weeks a player that's stock is rising, a player that stock is falling, someone that maybe you should jump on board with and get in your team, and someone that maybe you should ship out a little bit. I'll be honest, there's a slight twinge of bias here from my part, and it's not aged that well because I think Southampton are drawing at the moment. So let's have a look at I've said to transfer in this week because his stock is rising in Tino Livramento. I mean, he's had a brilliant start to the season. He's done really, really well. You know, he's a fantastic player. We know that obviously from the Chelsea academy, started really well, started at right back. He's going forward. He's got a front two as well in Adam Armstrong and Shea Adams usually. So you'd anticipate Southampton, if they're going to get out of trouble, might have to score their way out of it. And if you've got a defender that's bagging points, then maybe it's a good idea. I'm looking at Dan and Jason, who I know are both very against. Not against him. He's not playing to be able to.
I'm not against it.
What are you talking about? What?
No,
not against. I just, you know, I have a life.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'll ignore you now. Ben, are you an FPL player?
Here and there. We have a Boston Blues league that I currently sit bottom in because I'm not the most attentive. But I do have some thoughts here, if I can throw a player
Yes,
out.
mate. Crack on.
Conor Gallagher. Got to go right with young Conor. 2 goals today for Palace against West Ham. He has looked the business. If he's not in your squad, get him in now.
Great shout. That's a shout. You've gone one above me, to be fair. Let's have a look at the player that I'm saying to transfer out then this week, which is a player that we'll be familiar with this afternoon, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, again, I've done this for a couple of reasons. One being because Trent is phenomenal, but he's also very, very pricey on FPL. People know this. He's very expensive to get in your team. Now, at the moment, Andy Robertson has come back in, but Tsimikas, who I think slightly unfortunate to miss out today because he's been very good the last couple of games, he's like 4 million quid on FPL, so he's saving himself a lot of money. And obviously, over the last couple of weeks, we've seen Romelu Lukaku, Harry Kane has decided to stay somewhere else, and Cristiano Ronaldo has also come back to the Premier League. So you've got 3 very expensive strikers that you want to probably try and get in your team somehow, so you might have to shift out an expensive defender like Trent to make money elsewhere in the squad. Okay, let's move on now to Overland and Sea, which is a chat with the brilliant Ben, obviously from the Boston Blues. Mate, how did your love affair with Chelsea come about?
So it started when I was in high school. So this would have been about 2007, and it actually came about because of FIFA on PlayStation. Long story short, I got really stuck in with playing with the England team, and I really got taken with Lampard and Terry and found out they played for Chelsea, and it sort of just organically grew from there. I ended up attending university in Boston, and I realized that there was a lot of other Chelsea fans here in the city, but no real centralized group, and I took it upon myself, along with a couple of other guys, to start up the Boston Blues, so we had a place to meet up and share in our support of Chelsea. And it's just kind of grown into, a bigger and more important part of my life over the last decade plus. And some of the most incredible people that I know, some of the most incredible experiences that I've had are from Chelsea. And I'm very, very lucky that my friend loaned me FIFA 07 for PlayStation 2 back in the day.
Mate, I'm loving the Boston Blues scarf behind you as well. That's a beautiful, beautiful number there. How many members have you got?
Well, so we have, on the 5th stand, we have just under 500. In our active ranks here in Boston and Greater New England, we have about 300 members. And also about 65 of those are paying Chelsea members as well. So we are one of the bigger clubs in the U.S. As well as one of the bigger independent clubs in the U.S. as well. The interesting thing about our group is Boston is a very transitive population. There's so many students coming and going for university and graduate studies and the like. So even though we may see some changeover in our membership and in our pub regulars, which are usually about 20 to 30, we'll have about 50 to 60 down at the pub today for a bigger match against Liverpool. There will be the same size, but there will be some different folks and some different faces that rotate throughout the years. But consistently year in, year out. That's about our size. Although I will mention we grew a lot when Chelsea came over to New England for the final whistle on 8 in 2019. That really helped us boost our visibility, and we got a lot more people joining and swelling the ranks.
Sorry, can I just ask, what was it like Champions League night? What was it like in Boston when we played in Porto?
It was absolutely mental, Jason. So some context there. That was the day that the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the state of Massachusetts, had their pandemic emergency order expire. No capacity restrictions at that point.
Wow.
Masking mandates were taken away. So the pub was full for the first time in about 15 months. And when I say full, I do mean full. The reservations were booked days in advance. There was a line out the door for walk-in space, and it was 5, 6, 7 deep at the bar, shoulder to shoulder. I'll note that I am fully vaccinated. Everyone that was around me was pretty much vaccinated as well. No better stress test than the Champions League final at the Banshee Pub for the vaccinations. Lucky to say that the only ill effects I felt after that was the 3-day hangover from all the celebrating.
Worth it.
Mate, that's incredible. That is incredible. Ben, again, thank you so much for joining us, mate. Now, I'm going to ask you to play your part and kind of, I suppose, judge these two now and help me judge them because, in fact, I tell you what, no, I'm going to put you through your paces. You can get involved as well, Ben. I think the connection's good enough, so we're going to get you involved in our quiz today, right? So it's obviously Chelsea and Liverpool themed, and this is players that have played for both Liverpool and Chelsea in the Premier League era, okay? Jason loves these. I'll let you know, Ben. Jason loves these, right? Okay, so 10 seconds as well. I'm going to be ruthless. Today, okay? Because I've got quite a lot of stick for being a little bit too kind last week. Yeah, I did, yeah. So, Ben, I'm going to start with you then. Players to play for both teams in the Premier League era. It's not one and out. It's just you have to accumulate as many points as possible, okay? So you've got 10 seconds to get it right, and once we've got through them. Okay, go on, Ben.
Yossi Benayoun.
Wait. Just the one. Good answer. I'm going to give you 1 point, just one each turn. Good answer. No. You can have the first one. Yossi Benayoun. Dan, go on.
Glenn Johnson.
Correct. Glenn Johnson. Jace.
Torres.
Correct. Fernando Torres. Ben.
Jeez.
No,
I'm drying up.
Joe Cole.
Good work, mate. Good work. Dan. Joe Cole.
I'm drying up.
I'm out.
I'm drying up.
I'm out.
I know.
That's poor from
10
you.
seconds.
Okay,
No,
Jace.
I'm drying up as well.
That's horrendous from you.
Yeah, I know. I'm dried up.
I'll be honest with you. I'm embarrassed for you both.
Go on.
Ben, have you got any more? Keep coming then, mate.
No, but I got 2 and they only got 1. Does that mean I win?
You do, mate. You do win. I mean, you missed out on
Who else is there?
Nicolas Anelka, Raul Moreles, Bolo Zenden, Dom Solanke, Victor Moses, Daniel Sturridge, Mo Salah.
Mo Salah's. Yeah, I'm embarrassed now.
Fabio.
I'm embarrassed now. No.
Fabio Barini.
Full on embarrassed now. I've just seen that.
Did you play with Nigel Spackman?
I did.
Oh, great.
In the Premier League, though?
Yeah, mate.
Oh, Spackman.
Yeah, great work.
I used to.
Unbelievable.
Do you know what? 100% embarrassed.
Let's move on to in case you missed it. These boys have missed more than enough, to be fair.
That's shameful.
Each week we're going to have a look at the lighter side of social media in case you've missed some funny things across social media. So let's start with this. First up, apparently we weren't the only ones to notice this, but I'm sure if you haven't seen it already, it's a good one. Ings goal assisted Mings for the first Premier League goal, with the goal scorer sharing 80% of the assist maker's name since Moise Kean assisted Michael Keane in September 2019. Do you know what? I'm a stat geek, and to be honest with you, that took me a while to read. So how on earth you found that one? I've absolutely no idea.
Do you know what? That's remarkable, isn't it?
It's good, isn't it?
Someone sat down and thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'll work out the percentage of their
There's
name.
another one, and again, you'll probably remember this. Collins John once replaced John Collins in a game, and there's a few that are going to pop up, but now you're going to be all aware of it. Yeah. And Ben, you'll be aware of it now as well. That's one you can have later. I'll send it to you on the WhatsApp. You can use that one later in the group. Definitely. We've got a few more as well. Let's check this one out because we know that starting numbers are quite a big thing in the Premier League. And now, well, we've seen, we don't know what number Cristiano Ronaldo is going to wear at Man United, but that's going to be a big thing. Burnley started with a complete 1 to 11 in the Premier League. First time they did it since, I think, Charlton in 1998, I think was the last time Premier League team did it. I mean, look at this. I know that Ben Andrews was a big fan of this in our WhatsApp group. Squad numbers are a bit of a strange one, Jace, aren't they? But is there any that you can think of that straight away jump off the page? A strange one for...
They're all strange now. Honestly, that's now strange.
Yeah.
The fact that there's 1 to 11.
Yeah.
But you've got lads coming off the bench now with sixes on the back at the front. So.
Caleb-Belarus was a number 9 when he right back.
That was weird. No, that was a weird. Caleb-Belarus at right back.
Number 9.
That was. I think a few Chelsea fans still aren't quite happy with that one, but history's what it is.
Here's another one as well. So we know that getting those slight advantages as a fan is important for your team. You try and do your best within reason, within kindness. Have a look at this Leeds fan trying to put Dominic Calvert-Lewin off taking a penalty.
Brilliant.
It didn't work, Ben, because he scored. But I mean, again, this is. Have you ever tried anything, any of you boys? Ben, have you ever tried anything in sports to get that little bit of advantage? Ever tried anything similar?
Well, growing up playing baseball, you'll do anything that you can to get an edge, and you're not a little stitious, you're superstitious in baseball. So it's probably a little bit similar. I don't know that I would on international television raise my shirt and show off my beer belly that's taken 30 years to accumulate like that man did. But full power to him.
Yep.
Probably first time back at Ellen Road in quite some time. Really passionate, wanting to do his bit to get behind the side. Next time, leave the shirt on, mate.
Apparently, father and baby are doing very well.
Jace, did you ever do anything? Not like that. Not like that. Try and put a penalty taker off.
There's no point.
That's me. That's my game.
Well, playing. That's up to the goalkeeper trying out.
Dan, you've got a bit of that. You've got a bit of that devil in you.
That's me all over. If you're taking a penalty, I'm the type to go up to you and just whisper no pressure. Just anything. I just want something. Just give me just anything.
Just anything.
Anything.
Just anything will do.
You'll probably still put it away.
Now, we all have a football cliche, don't we? This was one that caught our eye this week. We know that Harry Kane's obviously delighted to be staying at Spurs. However, to say he is 0% focused on helping the team achieve success.
Wow.
I think there's a typo in. I think there's a typo in there, but given the recent to-in and fro-in, and depending if he was going to stay, there were 1 or 2 question marks raised over that.
He was look.
What's your favourite football cliche? You must have heard a few.
It always makes me laugh when the ball hit the back of the net, but actually it's the front of the net.
Oh, that's true.
Oh.
I don't know.
Where's the back of the net?
Where's the net?
The net starts on the bar, though.
Where's the real back of the net?
It's a good one, Ben. You got one?
Back of the back. Yeah, I get it.
I just...
The goal starts at the bar. So it's the back of the goal.
Yeah.
Back of the goal.
It's the front side of the net. I actually think Jason's got a point here.
Yeah, that's fair. Dan, you got one?
It hits the woodwork.
It's the woodwork.
The woodwork one. It's
the woodwork, yeah.
It's a classic. This ain't the 1950s anymore.
I like the one, goals change games.
Oh, they do.
It's not wrong.
That's factually correct.
Game of 2 halves, again, not wrong.
Yeah. Factually correct.
Technically is.
Yeah.
Very much correct, very much correct. Lots more build-up coming on the 5th stand-up, of course. Big game today. Chelsea are at Anfield to take on Liverpool. Time to pass you over to, well, something that's really, really cool, the warm-up for you on the 5th stand-up.
Fitness us.
Okay, so
in the stadium.
Afternoon, everybody. This is Anfield then. Chelsea getting ready to take on Liverpool, the ground where they won last season, of course. That brilliant goal from Mason Mount. Edouard Mendy looking resplendent in his training kit. Sponsored by Trivago, who are Chelsea's official training wear partner. They're running monthly competitions with incredible prizes for Blues fans. Trivago brings the worlds of football and travel together in order to offer epic experience. Last month, 6 fans won the first Trivago Getaway of Champions, including matchday tickets for the game against Palace, hotel accommodation, exclusive legend meet and greets, and a behind-the-scenes tour of the stadium. This month, Trivago have created the ultimate Chelsea FC training experience to be won by 5 lucky Chelsea fans, plus a guest each. This includes the chance to watch the men's team train live at Cobham and also spend a match day in hospitality. It's open until midnight on Tuesday, that's the 31st of August. You can enter the competition by signing up at trivago.co.uk/ChelseaFC. Fans must be 18 years old and over to enter. Terms and conditions apply. But what a great prize that is. You can watch the team train and you get a match day in hospitality too. See Romelu Lukaku do his thing at close quarters. That's the prize on offer from Trivago, who are Chelsea's training wear sponsors. Well, Chelsea hoping to make a trip toward the top of the Premier League table, of course. Can they get the job done here at Anfield this afternoon? Chelsea looking to start a Premier League campaign with 3 wins without conceding for the first time since 2010-11. Liverpool, well, they've started just as well as the Blues have, and they needed to, didn't they, after that poor season last time around. 3rd in the Premier League, quarter-final of the Champions League. But nowhere near the success of Chelsea. There is the match winner from last season's fixture between these two. What an outstanding goal it was. Shame there was nobody on the Kop to witness it that night. It will be an entirely different kind of atmosphere here today, though. 66th meeting of these teams since the year 2000. It's the most played fixture in all of English football in that time, and it's usually pretty epic as well. If you are late joining us, there's just one change to the Chelsea team. N'Golo Kanté is in for Mateo Kovacic. Liverpool are showing 3 alterations from their game against Burnley here last week. Fabinho, Robertson and Firmino are back in. Keita, Tsimikas and Diogo Jota drop to the bench. Well, what's Romelu Lukaku going to do for his next trick? Did start with a really good record against Liverpool, actually. 4 in his first 4 games against them, but only 1 in 11 since. Scored for Everton, got a couple for West Brom, actually, including in a win on this ground way back in 2013. That was a shock. It would not be such a seismic event were Chelsea to leave here with 3 points again today. And Liverpool very much hoping that Anfield becomes a fortress again after that incredible collapse here last season when they lost 6 home league games. And Chelsea, of course, were one of the teams that came here and won. Big day for that man, Cesar Azpilicueta, as we've been saying, too. His birthday and his 300th Premier League game. Mason Mount back in the England squad. Reece James is in there with him too. Everybody will be flying to their various countries to take part in international duty after this. Always comes early, doesn't it, the first international break of the season. This would be quite some way to go in it for Chelsea if they were able to get a positive result, hopefully a win here this evening. I do suspect that these two will be maybe not the principal characters in the title race, but certainly two will be fighting right till the end. Chelsea got a big gap to make up on Manchester City from last season, but we know Thomas Tuchel has had the better of Pep Guardiola. What does Cristiano Ronaldo's arrival at Manchester United do for the title race? Well, Chelsea can't worry about things like that. They've just got to take care of their own business. I mentioned it's a difficult start to the season. Villa after the break, still got Spurs to come and Manchester City as well in September, as well as the Carabao Cup and Champions League campaigns coming up. But if Chelsea can get through those tricky looking opening league games in the kind of form and with the kind of results that we've seen in the 2 matches so far, then they really will be in a good position to challenge strongly for the Premier League title this season. Going to be a new experience for the likes of Kai Havertz today, playing at Anfield with supporters in the stadium, doing everything they can to put him off. What about Reece James? Terrific from him last week, goal and an assist. First time he'd done that since Brighton on the opening night of last season. No surprise that he keeps his place. Interesting battle between him and Trent Alexander-Arnold, both in Gareth Southgate's squad for the upcoming international games. An opportunity for both to showcase their skills today. Well, as the boys do some dancing to Johnny Cash, let's have a look at Romelu Lukaku. Terrific debut for him last week. Can he make it 2 goals in his first 2 games back at the club today?
So all the hype before the game was about Lukaku, and boy, did he deliver. So, what's his strengths? His hold-up play, he's a strong physical boy, he's got pace in behind, stopped the ball into his feet. Arsenal did nothing to counter that, and today, Liverpool will. Klopp will look at this. That's an angled ball into his feet, but expect Fabinho, Henderson, Keita to stop that ball. This time, Mari has to drop off. Why? Because he can't no longer get tight, because the straight balls, as a central defender, you can't see them balls. Now he's starting to drop into midfield, he's starting to turn, and now he's starting to really assist the build-up play. This is a perfect example of it. Now look at him. They're now allowing him to turn. Liverpool will not, or they will try to stop him doing that. Very difficult when you have the size and the pace of Lukaku. Again, his build-up play. Into the feet, straight ball. He can't see it as a central defender, and now he's starting to physically bully them and take advantage in behind. Liverpool have to stop that ball. So I feel that we need to use the width of the pitch with the wing-backs. Brilliant defensive play. We saw that with Drogba and Giroud. This is the goal, another straight ball into his feet, spin and then get in behind. It's a simple goal. This is a training ground goal, but beautifully executed. And he finishes there. He could perhaps have had more as well, but again, had another involvement in the second goal. Attracting players, making the pitch narrow. That's where I feel we need to use the width of the pitch. And then on this occasion, it's a brilliant save from Leno. But the boy was superb on the day. How will Liverpool deal with him today? That is the big question.
Is a big question indeed, and Romelu Lukaku's had the answer to pretty much every question that's been posed to him so far. Right then, let's have a look at our 3 points for 3 points ahead of this game. Then we're going to be doing this every week. It is the key things, key battles in the game. Jason Cundy's joined me for this. Silence the crowd early. It's nice to be able to talk about that again, first and foremost.
Yes, absolutely. Good afternoon, Matt. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, look, we know what Anfield's all about, but do you know what? When you rely on the crowd, and let's be honest, Liverpool's crowd, and certainly Champions League nights, they can be a big factor. But also, it can work the other way if things don't go your way. And if you can silence that crowd, if you can perhaps make them think this game isn't going to be as easy, or perhaps put a bit of doubt in their mind, that can have a big effect on the players, both adversely as well as positively. So I think that's something that we need to control the ball. Don't encourage them. Don't give sloppy balls away. Don't give poor corners. Don't let them in our final third, and perhaps give the ball away and give them real hope. That's the word. Give them hope. So if we can do that, I think that's a real positive. And certainly the first 10, 15 minutes or so, you can't control 90 minutes, of course you can't. I think the fullback or wing back, as it will be, I think they're going to be really key. Because both sides love to use the width of the pitch, and Trent is as good as anyone, Reece is as good as anyone right now, but Alonso on that left-hand side really understands that area, really gets what his role is. Defensively, I think Chilwell's better, but if you're going to play a three, there ain't many better than Alonso. And on the other side, where they've got now, Robertson has come back. Again, they love to play high and wide. So those battles there, not necessarily against one another, but if they can get beyond the fullbacks, if we can certainly push them back, it might make their midfield think a bit differently as well. So I think that's as, because of the way that we play with Lukaku against Arsenal, Matt. They didn't stop that ball going into feet. Liverpool will. And I think what we want to do, we want them to become quite narrow. We want them to think about that ball to Lukaku. So if they have to overcompensate and become narrow either in the midfield with their three, or maybe you're telling the fullbacks, be a little tighter, then if we in good possession, good areas in their final third, if that is the case, can we use the width of the pitch? That's another key area.
Yeah, so we've done the full-back battle and touched on Lukaku. I just wonder if it's something that he's added to his game, certainly in recent years, is his ability to have an effect from wide areas too. Might he try and drag Van Dijk about a bit, or is Van Dijk a bit too experienced to fall for that?
Dan made a brilliant point in the show before about Lukaku probably, if you're Lukaku, you're thinking, who do I really want to go up against? You don't want to go against Van Dijk. You want to go up against the other centre-half. So he may well be forced to, depending where the ball is, on the right-hand side, naturally, if we're coming down, and Reece is on that, he's got space on that right-hand side. Lukaku naturally will have to be on with Lukaku. But on the other side, if it is, and this will be interesting, we might say, do you know what, can we go a little bit more down that left? Can we work that left-hand channel? Can we look to get a little bit more space in the wide areas on that left-hand side and work the other centre-half, not necessarily put on Van Dijk? So that's these are little mini battles that go on in the space of 90 minutes, Matt. That, as you and I both well know, there are so many of those little individual battles that take place that can really, make the difference individually.
A lot of focus on Van Dijk. Obviously, he's a brilliant defender, but he's also a brilliant defender who's played twice in the thick end of a year. So that's got to give Lukaku some kind of advantage.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Both sides going into this game, for me, have had very easy starts to the league. I don't quite know how good we are yet. We look good. I don't quite know how good Liverpool are. They look good. They look at who they played so far. They played Norwich away. Everyone's going to batter Norwich probably at some stage. And they played Burnley. I thought Burnley actually in the first half did very well. But these aren't tests. Today is a test. We played Palace at home. They'll be in the bottom half of the table. We played an Arsenal side that are really...
They'll be in the bottom half of the table.
Well, OK, you said it, and everyone agrees with you. But do you know what the point I'm making is? We don't really know yet. We think we know. These are two good sides, and they'll probably be in the top four, the pair of us. But we don't know where. And today's game will give us a little indication as to right now where we're heading, where they're heading. So it's a tough one to call. I think it'll be a draw.
So because we don't know where these two teams are, would you rather be playing these games against the big hitters at this stage of the season, bearing in mind Chelsea have more players away at Euro 2020 than any other side? Do you want to get this out of the way while people aren't quite sure, their role for the season, how the team's going to be, or would you rather be playing this fixture on this ground in March, April, May?
No, I don't mind that. I don't mind this one. It's early on, and also, whatever the result is today, it's not going to be a title decider. Whoever wins, yeah, OK, it's a great result. If it's a draw, again, not a bad result for either side. I think the further you go into the season, they become bigger and bigger. Today is a barometer of where both sides we look at, but you just don't know. It's just too early to say. Like I said, we both played pretty average sides, and we picked up maximum points. Neither side has conceded a goal. Both, I mean, our goals scored are identical. This is a game you don't want to lose, but if we do today, it ain't the end of the world.
Last question. We've been talking a lot about battles on the pitch amongst the starting 11. Just looking at the two benches, that could be important too, couldn't it? It could be a Ziyech, a Hudson-Odoi, or Timo Werner did really well on this ground last year.
I thought Timo might play today, Matt, and I think he'll have a big say in the way this game goes with his pace. Maybe. And Tuchel, who I have to say gets very little wrong, and maybe he's looking from the bench to perhaps change the game. If it is 0-0 with 70 to go, you bring Werner on. That is a totally different proposition to the team that's starting now. So, and I'm guessing that maybe Klopp is thinking something similar.
Jason mentioned Thomas Tuchel. It's his birthday tomorrow. Let's hope he gets an early present here today. Here is what he had to say ahead of this game.
Thomas, first of all, UEFA Men's Coach of the Year. Congratulations. What does the award mean to you, and also to the team that you work so closely with?
Well, we are very happy, of course, to receive an award like this. As when I started coaching on academy level, it was impossible to even think about getting a reward or being a nominee for awards like this. On nights like a Champions League draw, I was simply a youth coach who loved the game and tried to do the best possible. And I still am in some way. I still love the game, and I still try to push my players and to push the team. For fantastic support of my staff. They were very happy about it, which was so nice to see also. And as a coach, if you get a reward, as a coach you can only get a reward if you have a strong club. Of course, strong staff around you, but strong club and strong team. So the players are strong, and we have everything what we need, and I'm happy, absolutely happy about it.
So a big award for you, but also for some of your players as well. Individual honours for Edu, for Kanté, for for Jorginho. It must make you exceedingly proud as a coach.
Yes, it was fantastic yesterday. I wanted to see the draw, and then you see all your players getting the reward is simply fantastic. Guys like Edu, like Engie, like Shorshi, defensive midfield players, and the goalkeeper, such humble guys. It's so easy to hug them and say congratulations, I'm happy for you, because they simply deserve with the way they are. They are as human beings, and they are sports guys here. It's fantastic. They are like true competitors, and it's a pleasure to be their coach.
A quick word on the Champions League group stage draw itself. What did you make of our draw?
I think I never played against any team. I had one friendly against Juventus Turin, but in a pre-season, so never played in Turin. And of course, it's a big club and big history in Champions League. So I cannot remember if I ever saw a game between Chelsea and Juventus, if this ever happened. But it's not a very common game, I think, in the last years. Malmö and St. Petersburg, we will have full respect. I don't know too much right now about them, but we will get all the informations necessary when we play against them, and they will be up for giving us a tough time. And I experience group stage all the time very difficult, very demanding. And it is our target to go through. So I haven't played against any team, and I'm looking forward to the challenges and new experiences.
So some big games in Europe to look forward to. Speaking of big games, Liverpool at Anfield this weekend. How have your preparations been, and what's the latest team news going into the match?
We miss Christian Pulisic still due to COVID, and Kerr is not in the team because he has a personal family issue to solve in France, and we let him be in France for that and be with the family. So we miss these two players. Everybody else is available, and yeah, it's a big one. Both teams started very well. Anfield with spectators is quite a different challenge than without spectators, and one of the toughest pitches to play on, one of the toughest teams, toughest managers in combination. But it's good. After that, we are smarter, and we will see how good we do. We need to be on our very best level. We had a good week and hopefully we arrive with fresh legs. We prepared yesterday and today tactically and mentally the game, and tomorrow we need to be ready.
Welcome back to the social on Matchday Live. We're going to get straight back into it because we've done combined 11s, Dan. Yes. All right, we've still got Ben with us. Ben, I'm going to ask you to be a judge a little bit for this one, okay? So me and Dan have both had a go at doing our combined 11s, and it's quite difficult because obviously we're massively biased towards Chelsea. So we've had to shift it a little bit, 6 and 5. So here's Dan's team. You can see it in the sidebar: Mendy, James, Van Dijk, Rudiger, Robertson, Kanté, Thiago, Mount, Mane, Salah, Lukaku. It's decent, mate.
I think it's a good team. I think when you see it kind of spread out in the positions that they would play, I think it makes a lot of sense. Thiago hasn't had the greatest start to life in the Premiership, in the Premier League, but he still, before he came here, was probably the best midfielder in the world. Pair him up with Kanté, throw Mount in there as well.
We've gone 4-3-3 both of us as well, because obviously in a 5 at the back, I think both our 11s to start with were the Chelsea team that's today.
Yes.
To be fair, so we had to change it a little bit, Ben, because otherwise it's a little bit boring, isn't it? So here's the one that I've gone for. I've gone Alisson in goal, James, Van Dijk, Rudiger, Robertson, Kanté, Jorginho, Mount, Mane, Salah, Lukaku. So again, very similar, mate. I think there's only 2 changes. I think you've gone Mendy over Alisson, and I've gone Jorginho over Thiago. Ben, what are your thoughts, mate?
So I actually, I think I would go by a hair. I'd go with Dan's 11. I think the idea of Kanté and Thiago running your midfield, with Thiago really starting to finally, let's be fair, starting to acclimate, he's starting to adjust to the Premier League. He's had his bedding in here to kind of get used to it. And then, of course, he's coming back from the injury. And also, I rate Mendy as the best goalkeeper in the world right now. I don't know how you can win the Champions League, be the Champions League goalkeeper of the year, and turn in the number of clean sheets that he has, and not be in that sort of conversation. So I take Mendy over Alisson, and also Kanté and Thiago as my midfield. So I'd go with Dance.
Yeah, no, I think it's a fair shout, mate. I can't grumble on that.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I just had to find a way to get Jorginho in. That was the only thing I had to do. I had to find a way to get him in.
It's hard because when you look at who's not in that team, you're just like, oh, how can I leave him out? And how can I leave him out? And how can I leave him out as well? So it's difficult.
All right, mate, what do you think about today then, Dan?
I'm quietly confident, only because we've been in very good form. We are the champions of Europe. We've got 6 points out of 6 so far. I would take a draw, if I'm totally honest. But I'm a little bit greedy, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 Chelsea win.
Ben, I'm going to be rude and push you for a first goal score very quickly, mate, as well. So what's your score prediction? What's your first goal?
I'm going to go 2-1 Chelsea. Lukaku first goal scorer.
That's what I love to hear, mate. Love to hear that. And obviously, as you'd imagine, it's quite a lot of social reaction to the Chelsea lineup so far and the team and everything like that. So let's have a little look at that on your screen now. This has been naturally people getting very excited before kick-off. Kanté, Havertz and Lukaku. The Jose Mourinho moment. Do you remember that as well? He's giving it. That was the Demba Ba goal, was it? The Steven Gerrard slip. So there's quite a lot to come. There's quite a lot to live up to from a Chelsea-Liverpool game as well. So yeah, very, very excited for that. Thank you very much for joining us for this. Make sure you stick around. Only on the fifth stand-up, we're going to give you commentary up next to Chelsea versus Liverpool at Anfield in the company of Matt Davies-Adams and Jason Cundy.